Hi guys, this is Tech Howdy. I welcome you to another video tutorial where we are building this CMS application using ASP.NET Core 3 and Angular 10. In the last video tutorial, I showed you how to hide and show component elements based on the user's logged in status. In this video tutorial, we are going to implement the logout functionality since we are manually deleting the cookies in order for the user to log out from our application. I will show you how to implement the logout functionality. So when the user clicks the logout button, the user's cookies are deleted and the user is logged out. To implement logout functionality, we will go to our account service and create a method called as logout. In this method, I have used two extension methods called as clear cookies and clear cache. In the clear cookies method, all we do is clear the local storage items by providing their key names. Although we have not used these local storage items, we will be using them soon when we implement two-factor authentication. But for now, we will make sure that we have implemented the code to delete these cookies from local storage. The next thing that we will do is clear the cache. A profile details observable object stores the user's profile information when the user logs in. So we will make sure when the user logs out, we set the value to null. Finally, we will set the state of the user's logged in status in our store observable store to false with the action name which is logged in status. Next thing we will do is we will go ahead and call the backend API to log out the user. Here we have created a base URL for the logout endpoint and specified the string as the value. We will pass this value over here as the first parameter of our HTTP GET method, and then we will set some headers to call the backend API. Then we will go to the navigation component.ts file, which will be calling this logout method. Here we will call this logout method in this method called as onLogout, and we will subscribe to the result. Although we are not doing anything with this result, I am just printing it on the console stating that the user is logged out. In case if you don't want to print the string on the console, you can remove or comment out this code. After the user has logged out, we will redirect the user to the login page. In the HTML file of the navigation menu, all the way to the bottom, there is a button called as logout. We will add a click event, and the method to be called is the onLogout method, which we have implemented in the nav menu component.ts. Finally, we go to the backend code, and in the account controller API, we are going to create a method called as logout. In this action method, we are going to call the extension method called as logout user async, which we are going to create in the authentication service. This method is going to return a Boolean response, which when true we will return a OK response, and which when false we will return a bad request response. In the auth service, we are going to create this logout user async method. First, we will create an array with all the cookies that we want to delete by specifying the key names of the cookie. Then we are going to create a try catch block as we do to log any errors in our log file. We will go ahead and try to delete the cookies by first getting the username, and once we find who the user is, we will go ahead and delete any tokens associated with this user from our token table. Finally, we will delete all the cookies by calling the delete all cookies method and specifying the cookies to delete array, which contains all the cookie names. If we have any exception, we will log it as I mentioned. Since if we have an exception, the try block will not execute the code. We will directly jump to the catch block. Then we will have to call the cookies delete method once again just to make sure that all the cookies are deleted. And finally, we return false. So in either cases, we know that we have already deleted the cookies. So the next time the user tries to access any endpoints or any protected area in our application without the cookies in the browser, the user would not be able to access it. Finally, the account controller gets the response as I mentioned, it will return the response back to our Angular application or the account service, and the account service will forward the response to the navigation component, which is subscribing to the result. So that is the logout process in our application. Since we have implemented the logout functionality, we can go ahead and now restart our application. So this new code can be used and we can test the logout functionality. So application is restarted. So let's go ahead and test the logout functionality. We will log in our user using the user's credentials. Once the user is logged in, we can see the user's name on top right. Now if we go ahead and log out, the onLogout method should be called. And once the user logs out, we see that the user is seeing the login page. So our logout functionality works as expected. If we go and inspect in the console tab, we should see the object or the state as false and the console that we have printed, which is logout successfully. So guys, this logout functionality has been successfully implemented now in our application or in our Angular application. So in the next video tutorial, we will be working on the My Account profile page, settings page. So we will be implementing the UI and the functionality for our profile view. So for this video tutorial, this should be it. If you have any questions, use the comment section. And for the source code will be available in the DevOps repo, and you can find the link in the video description. Thank you once again. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.